Welcome back to Crime Time Podcast. Do me the solid, hit all those buttons for me, subscribe, join the discussion. As always on this platform, it's all about engaging with the viewers out there, hearing from the people. And as you see over here in the world of Twitter, I know it's called X, right? But I still stay with the Twitter, right? I don't know, Elon. Turn it back to Twitter, man. Get that X stuff up out of here. Maybe I'm just being petty. Let me know if you feel the same way. But Crafton by Proxy pointed out that this true crime news, no one covered this, and it's right near their hometown, which Crafton by Proxy is from Asbury Park, New Jersey. Pro wrestling fans, R.I.P. Bam Bam Bigelow. I believe that he was the beast from the East, from Asbury Park. Am I bugging, or is the boss Bruce Springsteen? If he's not from there, he's from somewhere near there in Jersey. But Jersey is what it is. Sometimes things don't hit the news that much from there unless it's about the mob or something like that. But we got a serious case here, and it's about something very serious. Going back what we were saying about certain things not getting coverage, other cases get overboard coverage. Like the Chris Watts, I did a video on that a while back. The video was titled something like "Let It Fade Away." You know what I mean? Like there's been Netflix documentaries. The case is long over with, but any little thing that pops off, people dive right into it. Another case that's reemerged back into the limelight in the true crime news cycle is Brian Laundrie, the Dirty Laundrie family. Although that case may still be ongoing, I'm hearing there's possibilities that the Dirty Laundrie family could face prosecution, and I hope they do. I hope that there is some chance that they do, because they were some dirtbags in my opinion. But this case not getting coverage, it should, because there's something very important here, and in the world of true crime, very often awareness is an important theme in my opinion, and things need to be out there for people to know. And what we're talking about is mental health, okay? Back in the day, it was a thing people hid away. No one wanted to talk about it. It was shameful and all that. But nowadays, we know that's out the window. Tons of people struggle from it. It affects lives in a major way. There's no shame in asking for help. And I urge everyone out there, do that if you need to. I'll tell you flat out, I've had my struggles. Other people close to me have. Hell, I'm still dealing with some things. And in this situation that we're going to cover, I'd like to think that if someone may have spoke up or done something, there would be innocent lives that would not have been lost. You know what I mean? And we're talking about this New Jersey case here. So sad, so tragic. And again, reach out, get help, please, and pay attention to some of the stuff going on here. I've known people to have similar problems, which we'll cover as we get to it. But since the sickness and the lockdown, it threw everyone's life in the world and society into disarray. And I feel like a lot of people never fully got back in the swing of things, or they started having struggles from society kind of coming to a screeching halt. And it brought it on for a lot of people. So again, there's no shame, everyone. Get you some help if you need it. And again, pay attention to what we're talking about here.
Shenandoah Drive near Rockbridge Road. The focus of the investigation happening at this home where two little children were found dead. Take a look at this video right here. Investigators from both the Ocean County Sheriff's Office and Lakewood Police have been going in and out of 19 Shenandoah. At one point, we saw more than a dozen of them on the driveway. Law enforcement sources with knowledge of the investigation telling News 4 Tonight a woman is in custody for drowning two girls under the age of 3 in a bathtub. Sources adding possibly one or both children were stabbed. Chopper 4 also flew over the scene tonight. You can see here patrol cars lining the block. It remains unclear tonight if the woman in police custody is the mother of those innocent little girls. The motive now under investigation. Of course, it goes without saying that neighbors here are stunned. Some here at a loss for words after learning two little children were found dead. In Lakewood, New Jersey.
Good afternoon, it's Mitchell and Naomi Elkins. She does appear virtually, Judge. She consents to the virtual appearance. Thank you, Your Honor. Nice to see you.
Good to see you as well. Ms. Elkins, can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, did you hear and understand the video that was played for everyone earlier today?
Yes.
You have been charged with complaint W2024-500-1514 with 2 counts of murder, possession of a weapon for unlawful purposes, unlawful possession of a weapon. As you are aware, you have a right to have an attorney. You've hired Mr. Ansel, your private counsel. You have the right to remain silent. Any statement you make may be used against you. The state has filed for your pretrial detention, and you're here for your pretrial rights advisement. As the state has filed for that pretrial detention, you will have your detention hearing on July 1st, 2024 in the Superior Court. Your first appearance is also scheduled on July 1st, 2024. As I said, you have the right to remain silent. Any statement you make may be used against you. As you've retained private counsel, I'm sure Mr. Ansel will be meeting with you in the interim to prepare for those Superior Court hearings. So that's all we can do today, ma'am.
So you hear what we're talking about here. 2 little babies, 1 and 3 years old, gone, deceased in KILLED by their mother. And she's 27 years old, Naomi Elkins. You may have heard in that second clip there of her in court. We were talking about the lockdown, the sickness, right? You saw that was a virtual court appearance. Now, I don't know if that's why exactly that was going on. I know some facilities use virtual appearances for, more, I guess, minor court dates. Nothing minor about this court case. It's just some horrible stuff that should have never happened. A mother offing her own children in such a horrific way like that, drowning both of them, one of them stabbing the child. And the children were 1 and 3. The 1-year-old is the one that she stuck before drowning the child. The other kid ran away. You know what I mean? Like, this is some horrible stuff. And again, you're going to hear how she has had a history of mental health struggles. And, it wasn't something that was brand new. And I don't know if it was like anyone did try to reach out and get her help and she pushed it away or what. We don't know all the specifics. That's the thing with a lot of these cases. You only know what's really put out there in the news, and there's debates about certain bits of information, how accurate it all is at times. But this was nothing new. People who knew her knew that she had these struggles, and they knew of this religious type theme. Now, comment anyone out there if you've ever known anyone like that, or you've experienced something like that yourself, or with someone you knew, that there was like a religious theme or good and evil. This is not uncommon at all, as this has happened many times. Many people with these types of struggles. With her second pregnancy, she started having thoughts that were coming onto her almost like voices, and that she was related to Hitler in some way, and that she had to rid the world of evil, that if she did this horrific act to her 2 babies, it would fix the world, and the Messiah was gonna come and stuff like that. Like, anyone out there, have you ever personally known of someone like this? And, very often, too, people that are having a lot of these struggles will keep a lot of this stuff to themselves. You feel me? So if you do know someone and they are sharing some things with you, just think, well, hey, they put this out there. There could be way more extreme thoughts that they're having that they're not putting out there. But back to what I was saying about that second, that second clip where she was at court. She hired private counsel. She was a teacher at a preschool at the very school where her own 2 children went. And she had even went and worked and took the kids to school on the very day that she did these horrific acts. In the morning, she was cooking like, I guess, preparing food for the coming of the Messiah. And on the way home, I guess she's reportedly starting having dark thoughts, and she thought that if she destroyed her children, she would be destroying all the evil in the world. That's what this psychologist, Pirelli, who was the only witness at this trial, he testified this under oath, among a lot of other things. But this was on the very day that she killed her kids. She woke up, cooked a meal for the Messiah, goes to school, comes back, these dark thoughts overcome her, and then she killed her children and called 911 herself, and responders came and confirmed the horrific fact that both of her children were indeed dead at the hands of their mother. And she admitted it right away off the rip, that she did it and that it was for this specific reason, to rid the world of evil.
She actually quoted, I believe I had down, I thought that if I were to kill my own children, that I would eradicate this last evil and then the Messiah would come. And once again, that's not just a one-off statement. That becomes a theme that runs across multiple data sources, including my interviewing with her.
When asked how she killed her children, she described that she took a knife and put it into the stomach of RW. She said that she did not believe that this had killed RW, but she believed that it was painful. She said that the knife went inside of the child's stomach. Afterwards, she put RW in the bathtub and held the child under the water. When asked to recall how long she had held RW under the water, she indicated that she counted again and again. She counted to 50 again and again, 2 to 3 times. She estimated that RW was underwater for 2 to 3 minutes. She said that RW was bleeding while under the water. Said that she believed that RW was dead by that point and that the defendant left her, the child, in the water. She explained at that point she went to find the other child. She said that SW was in the other room and there were 2 bathrooms on the first floor of the home. She said when she found SW in the bathroom, SW had seen what happened to RW and was scared and started to run. The suspect, the defendant, said that she put SW in the bathtub and held her underwater. She said that her skirt went in the water, causing the water to become discolored or turn black. She said that that discoloration made her believe that her thoughts about eradicating evil were true or accurate at that point, as Dr. Pirelli just explained. She explained that she filled the bathtubs, holding the 2 children down in the bathtub. She said that she did not stab SW, but she again counted to 50 while holding SW under the water.
So, of course, it's Your Honor's decision, but from a clinical forensic expert standpoint, I would say that, consistent with our insanity standards, she was not able to comprehend the wrongfulness of her actions. That I would recommend a finding of insanity in this matter.
Based upon all the foregoing, I find that the defendant, Namie Elkins, is not guilty by reason of insanity after a trial without a jury on charges of count 1, murder, a first-degree crime, and count 2, murder, a first-degree crime. The court, having found Namie Elkins not guilty by reason of insanity pursuant to New Jersey Statute 2C:4-8 and counts 1 and 2 of the accusation, hereby orders she's subject to a period of civil commitment in a psychiatric hospital or other mental health facility approved by the Commissioner of Human Services for a term of life.
A woman from Ocean County accused of killing her 2 toddlers has been found not guilty by reason of insanity. Prosecutors say Namie Elkins drowned her 3-year-old and 1-year-old daughters in a bathtub at the family's home in Lakewood Township last June. Investigators say this 1-year-old had been stabbed as well. Elkins told police she killed them for religious reasons. Her lawyer says she has a history of suffering from severe mental illness.
So you hear all that in court once again, that Mr. Pirelli, who was the only witness at this trial. And I want to point this out, as always, too. You guys heard that not guilty by reason of insanity is different than competency. Very often in cases before trial, right, you'll hear of competency hearings where the court will have the defendants interviewed by specialists, and they will determine whether or not they are competent or not to stand trial. If they are not competent, a trial does not happen and they are hospitalized. In this case, they commenced forth with the trial, but at the trial, the only witness was this psychologist, this expert psychologist who talked to her, forensic psychologist, for 11 hours altogether on 4 different occasions. And you see that he believed certain that she was psychotic at the time, and she truly believed that she was going to rid the world of evil and that this had to be done, in this forensic psychologist's opinion. Comment and let me know if you believe that to be true, or your thoughts about cases like this. Do you doubt this stuff? You know, like, it's just so crazy that this happened, whether or not she believed that to be the case. You know what I mean? Even if someone believed that a higher power or God or some kind of force was speaking to them, the fact that they actually kill their children is so sickening and sad at the end of the day, man. Like, it's just so hard to fathom, and I'm curious to know if everyone out there believes this or not. But you see here, based on our review of the facts and circumstances in combination with the expert psychiatric report and testimony, the state agrees with this finding. It's not even a close call. This was a tragedy of epic proportions, which Miss Elkins will be forced to carry with her for the rest of her life. And she had to read a letter that she wrote, right? And this was the court said this: after Elkins confessed to the killings to police, they gave her an opportunity to write a letter, the psychologist said. The letter was presumably to be to her children, but it reads as if it's a letter to God. Pirelli, the psychologist, said, "I thought I loved you, God, my creator." Pirelli said Elkins wrote in the letter. She writes, "You are evil. I'm deserving of death and destruction. I don't know what I was. I loved my children, but I loved you more." The judge quoted from the letter further, "I put me before my kids. How could a Jewish mother do that? How is it possible?" Ansel, who is the defense attorney, said afterward that Elkins' history of severe mental illness was well documented, as presented throughout the testimony of Pirelli. Quote, "This tragic case shines a huge spotlight on mental illness and the problem it causes for so many people in today's society. The Elkins family is hopeful that this verdict can now start the healing process for everyone involved. The Elkins family wants to extend their gratitude to Ocean County Prosecutor's Office for the compassion they've shown throughout the proceedings." So she's committed to psychiatric care for 2 lifetimes, but then you also see that she will have regular, or I guess semi-regular, I don't know if it's once a year, twice a year, or once every couple years, hearings to determine, you know, if she has healed mentally or not. Or I'm sorry, I guess not regularly. It said right here, defense attorney Michael Ansel said Elkins will be periodically evaluated by the court and remain in a psychiatric institution unless she reaches a point of being no longer considered a danger to others or herself. Now, that happens in these type of cases. You know, they'll say you're remanded or in the care of this state or whatever psychiatric facility for, and they'll say an amount of time. In this case, they said 2 lifetimes, but then you also see here that you know, it's different than the sentence of, like, if you were sentenced to prison. if they determine that she's no longer a danger, she can be freed. And as wild as some people may hear that and go, yeah, they ain't gonna let this girl out. I did a video a while back. I'll pin it below. The video is titled something like "The Black Dahmer is Free." This is a case with an individual who did some Jeffrey Dahmer-like crimes. I'm talking about cooking body parts, eating people and all that, and was committed to a mental institution and was there for quite some time, but he's free. He touched down. You know what I mean? He has to go to a halfway house and all that, but they found that he's ready to be released back onto society, no longer a danger to himself or another. So it's not so far-fetched to think that this woman may be free. And it's just so sad, so twisted. Like, there's just so many angles to all this to think about. But just at the end of the day, the fact that she killed her kids is just like, how could you do that? You know, even if she truly believed God was talking to her, like, I don't know, this just has me twisted. And I want to know if anyone else out there followed this case or what your thoughts on it are. Some of the stuff I didn't actually commentate on, as you know, there is a in-depth description on the process of her killing both these children one at a time. You heard the judge speaking on some of it. It's just so gruesome and grisly to hear, you know, that she carried all this out and it never dawned on her to stop as she offed her 1- and 3-year-old babies after a day of school where she was a teacher. That's just another part of it that I just can't seem to get over. But everyone, jump in the comments. Let me know your thoughts about all this. Once again, the whole idea on this channel is to engage in conversation with you guys out there. And this case, like I said, it didn't get any coverage. Had you heard about this case or not, I really think, once again, on the awareness tip, this needs to be put out there that a lot of people suffered post-lockdown, and a lot of people already were with mental struggles of different levels. But, you know, it doesn't get better typically if you don't do something to help it. And I mean, I'm not saying anyone who's struggling, if they don't get help, they're going to end up doing some horrific acts like this. But it's just important that people get themselves the proper help. So that's going to do it for this one. Once again, thank you for tuning in to Crime Time Podcast. I just can't believe this. There's a lot of stuff you hear in the world of true crime. You know, you become accustomed to going over horrific things, but a mother offing her children, just anything with children being hurt is so just sad and tragic and just so fucked up to hear. But just to hear of a mother who is a teacher doing it is just beyond fucked. You know, what more can I say? So subscribe. Let's talk it up in the comments. Stay tuned for future true crime and crime videos. It's Crime Time Podcast signing out, y'all. Peace.